DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, nothing funny happened to me on the way to the studio, so we may as well get started. We have some couples out there who are anxious to win a lot of money, as much as $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, our duck will come down and pay him an extra $100.
Groucho, Michael, and Gretchen Wayne are waiting to talk to you, so folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. How do you do?
How do you do?
Michael and Gretchen Wayne, huh? Are you brother and sister?
No, we're married.
We're married.
Well, that's how it goes. You have to take the good with the bad in this world. Mike, I'll start with you. Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles.
Were you born here?
Yes, I was in St. Vincent's Hospital.
Well, why were you born in a hospital? Why was that? Were you sick?
Well, my mother was there.
Now, Mike, you're a pretty husky-looking lad. You look like a football player, are you?
No, I'm not.
Why not? You're heavy enough to be a football player. Have you ever played football?
I played football for a couple of years in high school, but I had to give it up.
Why?
Well, I was allergic to grass.
You were allergic to... Were you eating it? How much milk did you give? What's grass got to do with football?
Well, you play football on a grass field, and usually you're getting pushed around in it, having your face shoved in it, things like that.
Yes, well, they don't always play on a grass field. College football fields are covered with professional football players who pretend they're not getting paid. Now, how does this grass affect you?
Well, I'm allergic to it, so it makes me cough and sneeze, wheeze. All the
Sounds like an English law firm. Cough, sneeze, and wheeze. Now, Gretchen, you're a very cute dish. You don't mind my saying that to your sister?
No.
And if every housewife looked like you, male absenteeism in the industry would be around 90%. Have you ever been a model or an actress?
No, I'm a school teacher.
A school teacher? If I ever had a school teacher that looked like you, I'd still be there. Are you still teaching school?
Yes, I am.
You are. You won't give up, huh? Now, Mike, how do you feel about your wife working?
Well, I think it's a good idea for women to work, all women.
Well, how long should she continue working? Say 40 years?
Well, not quite 40 years.
35?
No, until they have a baby or something like that. Until they have a baby, preferably. I hope she has.
Well, were you planning on something else?
Oh, well. If she has anything, I want it to be a baby.
Well, that's certainly a conservative attitude. Well, why do you think working is good for her?
Well, I think it's a good idea because after they stop, they won't mind doing housework so much.
By the way, how long have you two been married?
Just about 2 months.
Well, that explains a lot of things. What sort of work do you do, Mike? Are you still playing professional football?
I'm an associate producer of motion pictures.
Oh, well, that's very impressive. You mean you're an errand boy?
Not exactly.
An executive producer you are?
I'm an associate producer.
Oh, well, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Very good. Most unusual, too. What studio do you work for?
I work for Romina Productions. It's an independent company.
I never heard of them. Are you an executive there?
Well, I'm the president of the company. Yeah.
Oh. President at 23, huh?
That's what it amounts to, yeah.
Stevenson is 60 and still hasn't made it.
My goodness.
Well, you say you're president at 23. How old are the vice presidents? Around 14?
No. They're older.
Oh. I don't think I'm familiar with Romina. Is that the...
Romina Productions, yes.
What do you make there? TV commercials?
No, we make feature motion pictures. Our last being Escort West, a picture starring Victor Mature.
Well, is Victor mature?
He Yes, he is. About as mature as you can get, I guess.
Well, I'm amazed by all this, Mike. At 23 and president of an important film company. Do you know anything about the movie business? I mean, in what way are you qualified for a job like this?
Well, I've been around the motion picture business all my life.
You have? Like
yes.
what?
Well, like I worked on a labor gang. I worked in the wardrobe department. I've been an assistant director.
The women's wardrobe department?
No, the men's wardrobe department.
That was pretty dull, wasn't it?
Well, I think of better things.
Yeah. Well, would you mind thinking of some better things? Well, you deserve a lot of credit, and I wish I were in your shoes right now.
Thank you.
Well, don't thank me. The only reason I wish I was in your shoes is because mine hurt. Well, Gretchen, you must be pretty proud of Mike, huh? Has he really got this much talent and ability?
Well, I'm very proud of him. I think he's very intelligent.
Please. You have every right to be proud of him. Where do you think he gets all these brains? Is his father a college professor, a scientist or something?
No, his father's John Wayne.
Oh. John Wayne, huh? Mike, you've saying you got a lot of talent and ability. And I'm glad to hear your father was no handicap in your climb to success. You know, it's always tough for a kid if the father is famous. Now, how is it you're not a famous actor like your father? Have you tried acting?
I tried it once.
And you retired?
Well, yes, I retired. I had to give it up.
Why was that?
Well, I don't know. I guess no talent.
Well, it hasn't stopped me.
Well,
have you ever acted in one of your father's pictures?
Yes, that was I worked in a picture with him, and that was my last one.
What?
First and last.
You couldn't even cut the mustard with your old man?
Well...
What kind of a part was it?
Well, I played the part of a Mongolian soldier. And...
Now, did you have any dialogue in this picture you were in? What'd you say, you remember?
Well,
this must be deathless prose, can't you remember it?
Well, I remember the line exactly, as a matter of fact. It was, "Lord, the Merkits fell upon us unaware."
You say the Merkits fell on your underwear? That doesn't sound like a John Wayne picture. That sounds like a Marx Brothers picture.
The Merkits fell upon us unaware.
You know, there's an old story in show business. This is a very well-known story about an actor who had one line like that, and this was the first play he'd ever been in. And he was a footman, and he was to come in and say, "My lord, the carriage awaits." And he was off stage, you know, he was nervous the opening night. He's walking up and down, and he's saying this line, and it occurred to him that this is a very short line that he had to say, and he thought he would embellish it. So when the time came for his entrance, he walked out, and he says, "My lord, the carriage awaits." He says, "And I might add that any man that'll strike his mother is no gentleman." And they threw him out, of course. And by an odd coincidence, his father was John Wayne. Well, Mike, I'm going to give you the same advice I give all newly married couples. Keep smiling and keep up the payments on the washing machine. Now, you're very nice kids, and I have enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now the time has come to see who was buried in Grant's tomb. Now, you selected Mother Goose rhymes. Do you have any children?
No.
Well, how would you know anything about these rhymes?
I'm trying to go back in my past. I was a child not too long ago.
Oh, what about you?
I was a child once myself.
Were you a child for the FBI? All right, yeah, Mother Goose rhymes. I'll ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Were you ever a child?
Yes, I was.
Well, right now, you're in your second childhood, huh? All right, what did Miss Muffet sit on?
Her tuffet.
And you have one right.
She had a lot of nerve, you know, sitting on her tuffet. She was sitting on her tuffet, watching all the boys go by. Now, in the rhyme, 1, 2, buckle my shoe, what rhymes with 7, 8?
Close the gate.
Don't be late.
I don't know.
7/8, lay them straight. That's an old poker term. I don't know how that fits in Mother Deuce. Mother
You
Goose.
now have one wrong.
Okay.
All right. What did Simple Simon say to the pieman?
Let me taste your ware.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Now you have one right.
Oh, good.
And Sing a Song of Sixpence, where was the Queen?
In the, the king was in the, Orleans County was in the king was in the...
Country? No.
She was hanging up the clothes, wasn't she?
Now you have one
Queen
wrong.
was in the parlor eating bread and honey, and along came a blackbird and snipped off her nose.
That's another.
Yeah. Oh, Sing a Song of Sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in the pie house, counting out his money. The king was in the parlor, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when along came a blackbird and snipped off her nose. Ding dong dell, pussy's in the well. Who pulled her out?
Little Tommy Stout.
Well, little Johnny Star, but that's close enough.
You now have one
He was
right.
a fat kid anyhow. The 10 o'clock scholar of a dollar comes to school at a different time at the end of the rhyme. What time does he come now?
No, I can't fish scholar.
A dollar, a 10 o'clock scholar.
I think I'm getting in.
He probably comes at 9.
No,
What, you're a dollar, 10 o'clock scholar. On time.
At 8.
no,
9?
Try 12.
no, he comes at noon. Now, how do they stand now, Joe?
Well, they're back to
Out.
one wrong. No, you have to get 2 wrong in a row to be out. So
What did
We're
Jack,
trying hard.
what did Jack Be Nimble jump over?
A candlestick.
That's right.
now you have one right.
Where is the little boy blue?
Out with the cows or something. Come blow your horn. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The cows in the meadow, the sheep's with the corn. He's not with the cows and he's not with the sheep.
He's a pretty lonesome kid. Well, he's under the haystack, fast asleep. Now what do they got?
Well, they got one wrong now.
According to Mother Goose, what are little girls made of?
Sugar and spice and everything nuts.
That's right.
And we have one right now.
Now, who put Pussy in the well?
I don't know that one.
Little Tommy Green. You don't ask him, huh?
Oh, he told me he didn't know.
You have one wrong now.
Needles and pins, needles and pins. You give me the next line. Needles and pins, needles and pins.
I've never heard of these rhymes.
Oh, when a man marries, his
His
trouble
trouble
begins. Well, now they have 2 wrong.
Yours are over now.
Yes, we
Well, you'll have to go back to playing the Mongolian, I think. You're not going to get any money. I'm sorry you missed 2 in a row, so you're through. We don't want you to go away broke. I'm going to ask you one question for $100. Now, get it right. No help, please. What animal lives in a pigsty?
Yeah, let me have this one. A pig.
I'm sorry you didn't win more, but thanks anyway for being on the show, and good luck in your married life.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And in your movie.
Groucho, Napua Wood and George W. Davis are standing by.
Poor Wood?
Napua Wood.
Well-
And here they are. So, meet Groucho Marx, folks.
Welcome to the world's most Meshuggah show. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something I assume you always have with you. George W. Davis and Napua W. Wood, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, what kind of a name is Napua?
A Hawaiian name.
I'm all right, how are you? But what kind... This duck will be at the National City Bank in the morning. You've just won yourself $50, Mr. Davis, and $50 for you. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, beat it. I don't want to see you anymore. Now, let's see. Your name is George Napua Davis, huh?
No, George W. Davis.
W. Davis. What does the W stand for, George?
W stands for Washington.
Oh, well, it's very distinguished. Why do you have that name?
Well, I happen to have been born on February 22nd, and On that cold...
Isn't that Lincoln's birthday?
No, sir, that's George Washington's birthday. And on that cold morning when the doctor came down to warm his hands at the country store, he said, there's a new George Washington in town.
How'd you know it was a cold morning if you were just born?
That's what they told me.
Who told you this?
My mother.
Was she there at the time? You know, you're lucky at that, George. You might have been born on February 4th. Today you'd be called Groundhog Davis.
February the 2nd, you mean?
2nd, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not as familiar with the hogs as I used to be. You know, there's something vaguely familiar about you, Mr. Davis. I've seen you before. Are you the fellow who leaves the skim milk at my house every morning and charges me for cream?
No, I happen to be the mayor of Beverly Hills.
Oh, really? Well, say. All right. Well, Maya Davis, huh? Is that your name? I thought you had a dance band. Now, where are you from originally, Maya? Are you a Beverly Hills native?
Well, I was originally born in Nebraska, then raised on a farm in Kansas.
Now, why did you leave the farm? Didn't you like the bucolic life?
Oh, yes, I loved it, but, you know, I wanted to make a little more money. So I started teaching school.
You made more money teaching school?
Oh, yes, made twice as much.
You must be a financial genius. What kind of work are you doing now, Maya?
Well, I happen to be a banker.
A banker?
Yes.
Well, what bank are you complicated with? I mean, associated with?
I'm president of the Perpetual Savings and Loan Association in Beverly Hills.
Perpetual Savings and Loan? I know them very well. They went out of business recently.
Oh, no. No, not that one. You're thinking of some other one. This is a very solid institution. Has been in Beverly Hills strongly for 25 years.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, I was only fooling. I go there all the time, Maya. Now, do you plan on making politics your career?
No. No, I think that in Beverly Hills, we don't call it politics. It's just simply doing a service for the community.
Well, this is a family show. We don't want to know what you call it when you're in the privacy of your office. Maya, I'm just kidding you. I'm quite familiar with your record as mayor. What is it, Maya or Mayor?
Mayor.
Maya.
Of course, the old gray mayor ain't what it used to be.
No. The old gray Maya ain't what it used to be. Now, Napu, let's get back to you. What do you do for a living? Are you in politics?
No, I do a little dancing, but teaching most of the time. I teach down at the Ferry Studio in Hollywood and out in Palos Verdes at the Polynesia and Club Hawaiian in Long Beach.
What do you teach?
The hula. The Hawaiian hula.
Now, could you show us some of the hula?
I'd love to.
I mean, without the joint being rated?
Glad to. They play some Hawaiian music?
You need Hawaiian music?
A little bit.
Jack, do you know Ist das nicht ein Schnitzelbank? Nine. No, we only want it once.
Grass shack.
What kind of Hawaii? What do you want?
Grass shack.
She wants a little grass jack. You want to step out here? Out here, yeah? You better take your shoes off.
It's all.
Oh. Are those your feet? What do you do there?
All right. I'll tell them about the little grass shack and the waving coconut palm. Kneel under the grass shack. I mean above the grass shack. I'm just a little Hawaiian and a homesick island girl. I want to go back to my fish and poi. I want to go back to my little grass shack in Kealikikua, Hawaii, where the humu nuku nuku apua go swimming by, and where the humu nuku nuku apua go swimming by. Come on, man. That name is you, John. I'm going to teach you how to do the man's hula now. Now, we put our arms over to the right. Put our feet apart a little, and bend down at the knee. Now, lesson number one is to move that right hip to the right. One, see? Then to the left.
It's a fine mayor, huh?
To the right, then to the left, and left. Now, that's lesson
He hasn't
number
got
one.
what you've got there.
Uh-huh. Come on. Go ahead in there. All right. Now, lesson number 2 is to put the left foot out forward. Easy. Uh-huh. No, you keep your shoes right on. Now, bend down at the knees here. Now, we call this one mixing the point. Mixing the point. All right, here we go. Follow me. Put the arm up here across the chest here, and the right hand on the hip. That's it. Now, here we go. Follow me. 1, 2. Put the right hand on the right hip again, left arm across the chest, turning around towards Beverly Hills, and here we go.
Beverly Hills is this way. Which way is Beverly Hills?
This way. Go. 1. Reverse.
Maya.
Yes, ma'am.
This has been an experience. And, Mayor, I hope you remember what you learned here tonight.
Oh.
Next time the bank examiner comes, you'll be able to wiggle out of anything.
If I get sued by my customers, will you take care of me here?
I certainly will. I'll send you to another bank. This will be late at night, of course. All right, let's play You Bet Your Life. You selected plants, animals, and birds. I'll ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. What animal pretends to be dead when it's cornered?
Possum? You have one right now.
What do you call a flower that blooms each year without replanting? Give up?
Give up.
Oh, you know this. Perennial.
All right. Now you have one wrong. Don't get the next one wrong and the game is over for you.
To what order of mammals do mice, squirrels, and guinea pigs belong? You got a whole cellar full of them. Anybody want any?
Insect.
Yeah. Mammals. Mice, squirrels, and guinea pigs. Rodents. Rodents. R-O-D-E-N-T-S. Well, that's pretty easy.
Missed 2 in a row.
I'm sorry, you missed 2 in a row, so we're all through. However, we don't want you to go away broke. I'm going to ask you one more question for $100. You have 100 already, huh? The 4th of July holiday always falls on what date?
4th of July.
New Year's Eve, that's right. Sorry you didn't win more, but thanks anyway. It was a lot of fun, and the Hula was wonderful. I enjoyed every hour.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Brought to you by your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And don't forget to listen to You Bet Your Life every Wednesday night on radio.